Good morning, you guys. It's Saturday. It's a nice little irie morning. Today we're going to talk about some of the costs and the hidden costs involved in moving overseas. A lot of people don't really realize everything that's involved. You're not moving down the street. Like when I moved from San Diego up here to North Idaho, that was relatively pretty easy. You know, I bought a truck, I bought a trailer, I did a yard sale, and so those costs were pretty much straightforward, just moving state to state. But moving overseas is a whole different ballgame, and people don't seem to realize, because for the last however long it's been since I've been flapping my jaws about Thailand and moving, people have been asking me, are you still here? You haven't moved yet. No, I haven't. There's a lot of costs involved. So we're kind of going to go over, we're not going to go in depth on them. These are just kind of my personal costs. Everybody's game is different. The obvious cost is the financial cost. There's always that, you know, whether you're going to ship your goods or not, that depends on the country you're going to and what you want to bring. I've heard stories where guys said they've had a whole shipping container of their refrigerator and all this stuff, and they get over there and like, shit, I could have just bought it there. So a lot of items you can replace there. The bigger items, of course, you know, there's no sense in bringing all that. So as you can see, I'm down to nothing. This is it. This is what I'm moving with, and one more bigger suitcase. And that's it. But the costs involved, the financial cost, you know, you start with like, in my personal endeavor, I had to do upgrades to the house, like spruce up the house and, you know, make her look good again. I redid the floors, painted the walls, redid all the trim in the windows, and, you know, this was costs that I was incurring through the winter months, and I was on unemployment at that time, and, you know, according to the plan, get the house done through the winter, and the lot line adjustment was in the process of going on, and that was being taken out. You know, I had payments. This is all in the works, in the plan, you know, and it's like, hey, nothing goes according to plan. Remember that. With me, my personal endeavors here, with the lot line, I had $6,000, $5,000 to $6,000 invested in that to do the lot line adjustment, splitting my property into two lots. I've got a separate lot in the back. You can build on that. I've got my home on the front, and you can expand the house a little bit on that. So there was that cost. That's the obvious cost, and that was all going well. And you know, then my cost of surviving, and the plan was put the house on the market right away, and the market was still hot. What I didn't expect was having my money taken from me. So there was that unforeseen cost of, oh shit, now what am I gonna do? So with the lot line adjustment, the city requested tear down the garage. So there's $5,000 for that, $4,500. Now I'm tearing down my garage in the middle of winter, and I throw my back out up on the mountain, and what am I gonna do? I have to get rid of everything. Immediate garage sale. So when you do these garage sales and you're selling your stuff up to move, you're selling your things for pennies on the dollars. So the unforeseen cost is losing thousands of dollars on all your stuff. My $4,500 mountain bike, I had to let it go for $600. So, you know, there's $4,000. Bam, you just lost $4,000. Along with selling all your items, you're all doing this in a matter of timing. You're doing the house. In my case, I'm doing the house. I need to start letting go of some items. So I start letting go all my skateboard memorabilia, and I start getting some dollars for that. I talked to a friend, a record collector and seller in Fresno, Raging Records. Yes, sir, thank you, Paul. I sold him my entire record collection of my punk rock 45s and old punk rock records. Got some good money on that, you know, but in selling all my stuff, I guess maybe I retired too soon, retired from work, expecting the house to sell and be out of here right away. I still had the cost of surviving here. So there's that unforeseen cost. Kind of unforeseen to have it extend so long. In your financial costs, of course you're gonna have your visa and your airline tickets. You know, you gotta pay for a visa agent in some cases, depending on where you are. Your airline tickets, you know, this is all stuff that I know is up front. And then getting yourself situated over there. There's always that cost. So that pretty much covers the obvious. Getting there, the hotel cost before you go, you know, this and that, the little party blowout, you know, you're gonna have these little things. But some of the unforeseen costs. The unforeseen costs is the mental and emotional stress that a person can go through. I've been through a freaking roller coaster for the last 12 months. And it got worse last spring. You know, I'm already wondering if I'm doing the right thing. I'm selling all my stuff. I'm going through years of memorabilia. Stuff I had kept since I moved out of my parents' house. I've got all kinds of stuff in that garage and I'm having to get rid of it. I grew up in the mix down there in San Diego during my early 20s and skateboarding and having a blast. And there's so much memorabilia. Having these thoughts if I'm doing the right thing, especially after I got betrayed by my former best friend. And these are his words. "You're my best friend. How could you do this to me?" he says. How could I do this to him? But the sense of betrayal that I'm having to go through by a former best friend and almost crushed my dreams was devastating to me. And I'm still going through this shit. It's still a struggle right now. Between that and the fact that I'm leaving an area that I absolutely love. I moved up here for snowboarding. So the mental frustration that I'm going through and I'm feeling is beyond anybody's comprehension of the costs that it takes to move overseas. Because part of this mental anguish is that I had buyers for my house and they backed out. As you would, if you look at the previous video of my update last week. So having buyers back out, you're in this momentum. Because all along, you are doing what needs to be done. You've got this plan and you gotta get all these steps. There's a lot of moving pieces to this whole plan, a lot of moving pieces. Everything with getting the house done, the timing with that, get the house done, get it listed come springtime. You know, we're all ready to go. You're doing the right stuff. You're letting your stuff go. You've got a buyer for the house. It's a week before closing. You have a house full of stuff. You have nowhere to go. Your plan is the house closes, you buy your ticket, you're out in 2 months. Less than that. That was my plan. I was gonna be out at the end of summer. Everything stops. Your momentum, everything just stops. The mental frustration is through the roof, right? My anxiety. We get into the emotional side of things. I'm leaving my daughter. My daughter and I were super close. We still are super close. Leaving my daughter is not going to be easy. I raised her up until she was 10, 11 years old, playing mommy, daddy every day and night. Taking her skiing every winter. Teaching her to snowboard at 10 years old. Teaching her how to surf out there, be on the boat with us. You know, she's 23 years old. Her mother says she's a lot like me. She's stubborn like me. It's not going to be easy leaving my daughter, but I'm going to send for her as soon as I can. So leaving my daughter's not going to be easy. That's the hardest part of this whole thing. You know, I raised my daughter. Once my ex-wife went back to work, once Chelsea went back to work, I stayed home. I was home every day and night with her, raising her, being mommy, daddy. It was fun. It was great. I'd finish my job all day and then I'd come home and play mommy, daddy. And it was awesome. Her and I had some great time playing ballerina, letting her play with her Care Bears, her growing up, you know, all the way up. And then taking her skiing every winter. We had some great times up there. Teaching her to snowboard at 10 years old. You know, bringing her to the skate park. you know, just turning her on to everything that I loved, hoping that would take. I know one thing took, her love for Thrasher magazine. I introduced her to the world through Thrasher magazine and Slap magazine. Yeah, leaving my daughter's gonna be hard. That's the hardest part. It's, you know, the emotional toll is so overwhelming. And a lot of people don't know and don't realize how overwhelming this is. I have one very good friend, B Money, Bascom Palmer III. He's the only one who ever asked me, how's your mental health doing, Matt? He asked me that at the end of summer. I touched base on it a little bit last video, but you know, Bascom, I've known Bascom since I moved here. We met up on the mountain, him and Clay, my former boss. We all met at Chair 6 up at Schweitzer. I was ticket checker and they were lifties. We've known each other for 30 years, Bascom and I. You know, that's half my life. Bascom's experienced his amount of trials and tribulation. He understands the betrayal of friends. It's a devastating thing, you know, and that falls into the emotional side. That betrayal I experienced falls into this whole emotional thing. Leaving my daughter, leaving everything I'm familiar with, leaving some of my friends, going into something I don't know. I have no idea where I'm going to permanently lay my head. You know, if you like the video, please hit that tab, leave a comment down there. Let me know if this helps you out. People think it's easy. It's not easy. You know, talking with Safan every other day. Just waiting to get over there, waiting, you know, we're all just waiting. I should be there by now. That's another thing, is I should be there by now. Should have been, would have been. I was this freaking close to buying my plane ticket till the buyers backed out. So that's, you know, and that part of that mental anguish is falling into this emotional side of things, you know? It's the hidden costs of moving overseas. So, I hope you're ready for that. I really wasn't. Nothing's gone according to plan. The frustration, the mental anguish, the emotional stress, you know, leaving my daughter. This is some of the unforeseen costs of moving overseas. I didn't expect all this. Here we are, trying to get there. All I can say is be ready for a turbulent roller coaster ride. It's been one hell of a ride for me. I'm just now climbing that steep part and about to hit the fucking downhill into a corkscrew.